Welcome to Aviation India. Today, we bring you a list that might surprise many. 6 airplanes that are expensive but actually bad. Not every costly aircraft guarantees performance, reliability, or real value. Some are overpriced, overhyped, and often disappoint the very owners who pay millions for them. Let's take a look at 6 twin-engine planes that prove high prices don't always equal high quality. Beechcraft Duke B60. The Duke B60 was marketed as a luxury twin, combining speed with prestige. But in practice, it turned into one of the most maintenance-heavy and costly piston twins ever built. With its pressurized cabin and turbocharged Lycoming engines, it promised performance comparable to turboprops. Yet the engines are notorious for overheating, short lifespans, and expensive overhauls. A used Duke today still costs upwards of $200,000 to $300,000, but operating it can drain owners with annual costs rivaling much faster turboprops. Insurance rates are high, and many maintenance shops refuse to even touch the engines due to their reputation. While it looks sleek on the ramp, its reputation as a money pit has made it one of the least loved Beechcrafts among mechanics and pilots alike. Owners also complain about poor fuel efficiency and complex systems that require constant attention. Cabin comfort is decent, but not enough to justify the high upkeep. The Duke may look like a premium aircraft, but in reality, it's often avoided in today's market. Piper Aerostar 601P. The Aerostar series was famous for its speed, capable of cruising at 230 to 250 knots, which was impressive for a piston twin. But speed came at a dangerous cost. Its narrow fuselage and small cabin made passenger comfort an afterthought. On top of that, its turbocharged engines require meticulous attention and frequent overhauls. With prices around $150,000 to $250,000 on the used market, many buyers are seduced by its raw numbers. Yet maintenance shops constantly report fuel leaks, pressurization problems, and engine wear far earlier than expected. For pilots who don't stay ahead of its demanding systems, the Aerostar can quickly go from dream to nightmare. Even experienced operators admit that keeping one airworthy feels like a full-time job. Its resale market is shrinking every year, and many sit idle on ramps because owners gave up on the expenses. It's the definition of a high-risk, high-cost plane. Mitsubishi MU-2. The MU-2 is perhaps one of the most controversial aircraft ever built. Fast, powerful, and capable of carrying big payloads, it initially looked like a turboprop twin that could rival King Airs at a lower price. Today, prices range from $400,000 to $700,000, but ownership is another story. The MU-2 earned a reputation for accidents due to its demanding handling characteristics. Pilots needed specialized training to fly it safely, and without it, many accidents occurred. Maintenance is another sore spot. Parts are expensive, and keeping the MU-2 airworthy is far more costly than buyers expect when they see the attractive sticker price. While die-hard fans love its performance, most of the market avoids it. The complexity of its systems and the cost of insurance add to the financial strain. Mechanics often warn new buyers that an MU-2 in the hangar is like a ticking financial time bomb. It remains a niche aircraft loved by few, but avoided by many. Piaggio P.180 Avanti 2. At first glance, the Italian-designed Avanti 2 looks futuristic and glamorous, with its pusher-prop configuration and 400-plus knot cruise speed. But with new prices once topping $7 million and used ones still costing $2 to $3 million, the numbers simply don't add up. Its unusual design requires specialized maintenance, meaning fewer mechanics can work on it, and parts availability can be a nightmare. The Avanti also suffers from poor fuel efficiency at lower altitudes, making regional flights uneconomical. Despite its flashy looks and jet-like performance, its high costs and limited support network keep it from being a smart choice. Owners often say the resale market is painfully small, and downtime during maintenance can stretch for months. Unless you're passionate about its unique design, the Avanti 2 is a luxury that rarely justifies the cost. Rockwell Commander 685. Built in the 1970s as a pressurized cabin-class twin, the Commander 685 is one of those aircraft that looks appealing on paper but becomes a financial drain in practice. With large Continental GDSO 520 engines, it offered solid power, but those engines are notorious for high maintenance costs and short times between overhaul. Used prices hover around $100,000 to $200,000, but owners quickly discover that parts are scarce and repairs are slow. The airframe itself, while comfortable inside, requires frequent attention due to corrosion issues and wear. Many of these planes now sit abandoned on ramps because owners couldn't keep up with the costs of keeping them airworthy. Even if you find one at a good deal, the money you'll spend keeping it alive often doubles the purchase price. It's a prime example of why cheaper isn't always better in aviation. In fact, many mechanics joke that the 685 is less an airplane and more a hangar ornament once the bills start stacking up. Some pilots say it teaches the hardest aviation lesson of all. Buying cheap can be the most expensive mistake. Beechcraft Starship. The Starship is one of the most infamous examples of an expensive failure in aviation history. Developed in the 1980s with futuristic composite materials and canard design, it was supposed to revolutionize business aviation. Instead, it turned into a financial disaster. Only 53 were built, with a new price of around $5 million at the time, an astronomical number for the era. The Starship was plagued by performance shortfalls, limited payload, and extremely high maintenance costs. Beechcraft eventually scrapped most of the fleet, leaving only a handful flying today. While collectors admire its unique look, the Starship remains a symbol of how an expensive aircraft can still be a very bad one. Its rarity makes it attractive to enthusiasts, but operating one is impractical. The few left in the air are more for show than utility, and owners spend fortunes just to keep them flying. Many pilots describe it as a collector's toy rather than a practical business tool. In fact, some say the Starship is better suited for a museum than a hangar. For most buyers, it's a dream that turns into an endless expense. And there you have it. 6 twin-engine aircraft that prove a high price doesn't always buy quality, reliability, or even safety. Some looked like futuristic breakthroughs. Others promised speed and luxury. But in the end, they earned reputations as money pits and mechanical headaches. If you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to hit the like button. It really helps the channel grow. And of course, subscribe to Aviation India for more eye-opening lists about the aviation world. Sometimes the smartest move in flying isn't about buying the most expensive plane, it's about buying the one that actually works for you.